In downtown Brenham, Texas, the historic Simon Theater is under an extensive restoration. And sure enough, John Barnhill's right in the thick of it.
That'll fit because
He's known for ice cream, but his service to his community and university are every bit as sweet. John Barnhill was born in Brenham in 1936. Even then, everyone knew John. His parents ran Barnhill Drugstore. In those days, Bluebell was just a local business.
I remember walking up from my home to the drugstore and passing a little shop that always smelled kind of strong, and it was where the farmers would bring their cream, which they sold to Bluebell. Never occurred to me that I might be a part of that someday.
As a teenager, John worked summers at the creamery. When he came to UT in 1954, he majored in journalism and was a columnist for the Daily Texan.
I love newspapers, and my original intention was to go to work for a big city newspaper, maybe be a columnist, and then someday come back to a small town and own a newspaper.
John worked part-time in Governor Price Daniels' press office, was chair of Texas Roundup, and managed public relations for the inaugural Los Charros Rodeo. As a member of Kappa Alpha fraternity, he recalls searching through a Zeta photo directory for a date to a match party. He made 6 calls before finding a girl still available.
And I found one named Jane Cook, and she looked pretty good. She agreed to go, and we had a good time, and 10 months later, we were married. That was great until she found a little slip of paper that I had that listed all of the people I had called before I got to her. But we still get along well.
John graduated in 1959 and landed his dream job. He was a real reporter for the old Houston Press, but not for long. Soon his friends in Brenham recruited him to be Bluebell's first salesman in Houston.
My boss said, what I want you to do is go to Houston and sell all the ice cream you can. And I said, well, what is our goal? He said, I just gave it to you.
Drawing on his journalism education, John began defining the brand for what he realized was a very good product.
What we needed to do was find something that made us unique. As a result, the little creamery in Brenham was a line that I used in some radio spots that I wrote. And later, when we hired a top-notch Houston ad agency, well, they picked this line up and made it basically the theme of our entire advertising program.
Through the 80s and 90s, no other ice cream could match Bluebell's skyrocketing success. When John was hired, Bluebell had fewer than 100 employees. By the time he retired as executive VP in 2000, there were more than 2,500. And John had helped Bluebell become the nation's 3rd best-selling ice cream, while selling in less than a third of the states.
Have yourself a Bluebell country day.
All 3 of John's children attended UT. He served on the UT Development Board, the Commission of 125, the Men's Athletic Council, as chairman of the Chancellor's Council, and his personal favorite, as president of the Texas Exes. John and Jane have also donated a $1 million communications endowment to keep Exes informed about their university. And in 2003, he was appointed to the UT System Board of Regents.
My wife told me that you haven't retired, you simply took a different job and it doesn't pay.
John is also chairman of Bank of Brenham, and he's active in the Brenham Mayfest Association. John and Jane have restored 3 historic homes, and he's chaired Brenham's Main Street program, as well as the fundraising effort for the old Simon Theater.
You don't stand still when you come to Brenham.
Even with so much on his plate, it's very unlikely John will ever stop eating or selling his favorite flavor.
Right now, I'm kind of hung up on mini country cones, which is probably because they have only 90 calories per cone, which does allow you to eat 2.
Tonight, we honor a life member of the Texas Exes whose efforts have helped transform his university, his community, and our dessert preferences. John Barnhill, a distinguished alumnus of the University of Texas at Austin.